We saw the same stuff yesterday.
Yes.
Like, people were willing to prioritize Varus over everything. And then in a lot of the Varus games, it would be a Varus Kai'Sa trade instead of a Varus Smolder trade.
And I can understand that you have a stronger laning phase, and then when you get to the later portion of the game where Smolder would take over, then you're poke Varus and you still can 1v9. So we've seen that in Masu's game, I think game 5 of the Flag Quest series, where yes, you can actually just take over late game Varus and people underestimate the damage.
Yeah, I think people also sometimes when we're looking at these comps, as we see Smolder hovered, my guess is that TL are still gonna lock it in. Maybe not though. Oh, okay, yeah. They are going the Ahri. Is that sometimes teams underestimate range, right? And how powerful, like you heard them talking about it on cast, but just how powerful having range can be in a game where we sometimes see teams picking a lot of short range comps.
I feel like they talk about it all the time though. Like every coach is like talking about, oh man, we're outranged here, you know, so then we're the ones that are forced to go in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting too because Spawn in the interview that you did with them ahead of the game talked about how Dignitas were a bit predictable, and it was on them to upset Dignitas's predictable game plan. But then TL in game number 1 is like, all right, we're just gonna scale and it's gonna be fine. We don't have to upset anything.
We'll just predictably fall behind and then win the game.
Predictably fall behind and double dragons.
I'm looking at this hover because it is a pick that APA hasn't played on the LCS, but is also
he's been hovering there.
He already has
playoffs.
Oh yeah, my bad. Actually, I want to point out the AShe Varus because AShe Varus is a pick that Dignitas actually sunset as the split went on. Just because, yes, they would get the early leads, but anytime there was like, a flash is burned by a jungle gank or something like that, then you'd just be pretty useless as the game went on.
It's also, I mean, to me, I always feel like this is a statement from the bottom lane. If you're the ones willing to pick the AShe Varus, then it puts a lot of pressure on you because you need to be pushing bottom lane. You have to play for plates. So you want to get a lot of attention down there. You're going to attract a lot of attention. You have a lot of kill pressure, a lot of pushing power. So, I mean, this is a kind of statement here for Tomo and Isles. If they're able to really get a lot out of it and put that pressure onto Yeon and CoreJJ, that a lot of players were saying is the best bottom lane in the LCS, then I think that could be one of the biggest swings in a best of 5.
And obviously this matchup is different, but in the first game, which is actually kind of important, but giving them Varus AShe definitely tells me that they really want to stick to the bot lane style, right? Like they are the team is telling Tomo and Niles, we do believe in you to be able to get this push because already in game 1, they did set up that bot lane dive really well off of them having push in bot lane, as we see both Orianna and Talia taken away from Dignitas, which are really good picks to allow Dove to also continue on those roams down after shoving out mid. So we'll see what he ends up taking into the Ahri.
I really like the Jarvan ban because of the low mobility of the AShe Varus. I do wonder where Umti goes with this. Lee Sin still available. It didn't win the last game, but it was winning a lot early this weekend. And it would, I think, be effective against AShe Varus.
Yeah, and it's really good with Ahri. So your mid jungle, if you picked up Lee Sin here, like I definitely don't like the Lilia. Don't think there's gonna.
What about this one?
It's your boy.
Yeah, you know me, Volibear lover. Also, it is perfect because you always want to pick Volibear in these spots where volatile lanes give you options, and you can go for tower dives. You can do just that. You know, gank this bottom lane when you have flash going towards the AShe Varus before they're level 6. And you have Nautilus in lane. You've got CoreJJ Nautilus in lane nonetheless. That's definitely an opportunity. So I actually think it's a really good spot for an Umti Volibear. His first flash gank, I think, has tremendous ability to get a kill, whether it's to the Ahri lane or to the bottom lane.
True. Could be an impact Volibear. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, I'm less enthused by top lane Volibear, though it is good and definitely could be an impact one. I think it just does so much that you want to accomplish as Umti in this game anyway.
Ooh, that's a
if it's in jungle.
I mean, there were very good ultimates for Sylas, but this is definitely a pick that's fallen out of favor in the meta.
Get in there too, because Volibear would love that matchup for mid for Ahri. Sylas has to trade his health a lot early on. So honestly, this could be a level 3 gank angle from Umti.
Yeah, it gives Umti a lot of options.
The damage.
With the Volibear.
The damage that Sylas gets off of stealing Volibear ulti, or of course the setup in Nautilus as well. It's going to be a Jax top lane, so actually a lot of setup top side of the map. You got Charm for Ahri, Counter-Strike for Jax. You got a good amount of CC, of course, with the Volibear and maybe set up with Nautilus. So like, they can always take a fight.
You predicted TL3-0.
I did.
Does this strengthen your faith in that prediction?
Yes, it does. I like the draft quite a bit for a Team Liquid side.
All right, that's what Raz thinks. Casters, take it away.
Alrighty, let's rock and roll. Let's do it. We were actually, the three of us, just talking about, because we were looking at the different ultis that Sylas has available to steal. Fun fact that I did not know, Volibear's ulti actually has a 125% AP ratio on it. So if Sylas steals Volibear ult, he just turns into a human torpedo to explode the enemy team.
It's got some pretty good ults this game as well. The Nautilus ult is obviously a great one. The Ahri ult is good as well, yeah. Super good ults, and it's gonna be a scrap on top side this game. Full melee top side, basically. With the Ahri being a kind of a scrapper as well. Might get a hand 30 this game.
Who do you guys feel won draft in game 2?
I think it's similar to last game where it's gonna be heavy execution.
Okay.
Dignitas has a lot of early game power again in this bot side here with the AShe Varus. A lot of push, a lot of pressure, map hack basically with the AShe E.
Yeah.
So I want to see something happen this game.
This time I for sure feel like TL actually outscales. I don't think it's like but they have range. It's an actually you just lose later if you're not ahead, I think. Yeah. Because I do think Senna's going to do a tremendous amount. Jax is going to win side lanes later on. And Nautilus, there's just so many targets that you can hit a hook with on, and they're pretty much dead.
Even if Jax decides he wants to team fight, I mean, the enemy bottom lane is 2 marksmen. Hold on. Let's get ready. Charm flies out, doesn't hit any targets. Dignitas moving up as a unit. Volley Sky Splitter just absolutely wrecks 3 different health bars. Chunks them all for 100
still
there.
Just going.
But yeah, Dignitas is undeterred. Umti has to try to walk away further now. Impact still just keeping an eye on these guys. Another Sky Splitter, another chunk.
The game starts level 1.
True.
All right, we're
Who needs to wait for minions?
we're not gonna get
Start fighting, cowards.
A minion wave has 6 dudes in it. This conga line has 5 dudes in it. It's pretty much ready to go anyway. Now that we've made sure level 1 isn't going to turn into a bloodbath, we got Kobe standing by for an interview with Coach Enetron.
Thank you, Flowers. Yeah, I'm here with Dignitas Coach. First off, did we get what we want out of the level 1 there?
I mean, definitely we managed to control the bot side river, so I think this is important for Raz and Varus to be able to play the game. So I think we're up to a good start here so far. So yeah, hopefully we keep playing the composition how we need to execute it.
Yeah, how's your confidence in your bottom lane here? Obviously, AShe Varus, a lot of offensive potential, but if you get ganked a couple times...
Yeah, I mean, so far, watching the first game, we felt like we were really confident in the bot matchups. So we really want to see what's going to be happening also playing this type of matchup. We're having really confidence in our bot, so that's why we're having this here.
All right, what are your chances bouncing back in this game immediately?
I mean, we just got having a really solid early game the game before, so really hopefully that we keep having this solid early game. And right now, no Smolder, no Rell installed, so hopefully we're actually scaling this time.
All right, deny them the dragons. Sounds like a good choice for me. Let's get back to the casters, because this game is not going to stop.
I will say, though, the bot lane 2v2 starting off a little bit rough there for Isles. He didn't realize he was warded out, and he started support at him. Volibear's also pathing down. I think Dignitas bot lane's about to die, and they're about to be very sad.
CoreJJ flashing in for the lockdown with the auto attack. Umti has arrived. The bear is there. He flashes on Tomo. Keeps the chase going. Yeon doesn't have the damage to kill off the Varus, but the AShe is toast. Yeon needs one more auto attack. There it is. First blood to Team Liquid.
Yeah, and Isles didn't even skill his hawkshot. He took Q level 2 for that fight, and then he could have just used it across the whole map, you know, for map hack.
Yeah,
little disappointing.
as a jungler, I really hate that ability.
Yeah, these ganks should not be working TL, because AShe could just take a hawkshot and reveal the entire jungle. They also had a ward on the chickens level 1 on Umti's jungle, so they should have known he wasn't there. And
yeah, they had no river ward, they didn't do a hawk shot, and they were very far up in the lane, got hooked to level 1, a lot of things went wrong.
And TL also saw Tomo ward the bush in the lane, and I was a sweeper, so you know there's no wards anywhere. Kind of disappointing early game from Dignitas. They had a ward on the wolves and on the chicken, so no exactly where he wasn't at least.
Yeah, yeah. But I guess maybe they just felt like they wasn't going to look for that gank. Either way, obviously went wrong for them. Isles now on a little bit of a roam here. We were talking, as we'll see if this happens. Maybe it should be fine.
Yeah, as soon as you miss the E2, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot. AShe is not the greatest ganker of all time.
So you were talking about Zven, how in solo queue for a lot of these matchups, when you're playing like Senna Nautilus and Senna TK and so on against these double marksman lanes, the Senna will often start D-Blade, then first base actually swaps to support item because it's so hard for Nautilus to farm.
Yeah, Nautilus can't farm the first couple waves unless you have junglers to gank for you. So the Senna starts the orange blade and he farms minions at penalty and he gets 400 gold for his support item, and then he'll recall and buy Atlas. But if you get first blood, then all your problems are solved. Then
no worries.
Yeah, 400 gold right there for your Atlas. It's the best thing that can happen to you.
Do you think there's any world in which, okay, he took a farm, he got the first blood, that he's just like, okay, now I'm actually the AD and Nautilus buys support item? Or do you think 100% Nautilus is going to be the farmer?
I think Senna is just better play as fasting. Like the soul drop rate is just too important, and it gives you like an actual tank and your support. Nautilus is like a quote-unquote tank, but compared to like Rell, Sylas, and Renekton, he's not really up there with the bruisers. But if you have a Senna giving you so many CS, then you actually are a tank in these fights.
You need a meatball with some calories, right? He can't just be one bite and Nautilus is dead.
Hang on, Umti. The simple way to explain is that Riot has this thing with Senna where they buff her soul drop rate when she kills minions to 8%, and they nerf it back to 2%, and every patch you just decide, okay, now I'm playing fasting. Next patch, oh, now I'm playing ADC Senna.
You just have to know which one's currently the favorite one.
You just go on the patch notes, check patch history, and like, oh, now it's Senna farming, that's good. Okay, great.
Nautilus support.
Oh, you are just the GOAT.
He's too far ahead, man. Azael's just...
in this game, Senna having more gold is not bad, because he can actually buy something like Kraken Slayer, perhaps, against these double tanks here on top side of Dignitas. I kind of like it, actually. I'm not a fan of fasting, but instead of farming, but I think it can be okay in this specific game, have more gold.
Especially because I just thought of it because I play a lot of Senna, and in games where you get that much gold this early, it's like...
It is true.
It can feel like you really are off the races. I mean, this champion could be pretty oppressive if you get a good early injection of gold. Like, auto Q starts doing so much damage.
He's also going for something that looks like a Noonquiver item, so Kraken Slayer, perhaps. Sure. Surely not Stack Shiv. I mean,
I've seen some people
do. You never know.
I've seen some people do Stormrazor. I have not seen.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that one either.
No, neither am I really. I like generally lethality or just Kraken.
Yeah, I think Kraken Slayer is good in this game and not dominant secondary. But there's gonna be a scrap here. Both junglers are here. They know what's up in this game.
Yeah, Dignitas saw Umti walk through with the sweeper and clear out their wards, so they must be expecting the gank. They want eXyu to counter.
AP is hovering.
APA thinking about it. Level 6 available for both mid laners, but if Dove wanted to do anything...
So now if it actually does break out, they spot eXyu though, so now they have full info.
Yep.
So now TL, you have to play like you're a little bit stupid, but not too stupid. You want the guy to stay
right amount of stupid.
Exactly. You want the guy to be like, I could maybe get an engage on them, but not actually be able to get an engage on them.
Keep him interested.
Exactly. Waste as much time as possible and then cancel his base last second. Is basically what you want to do if you can. They obviously don't have vision on him, so they can't cancel the base just yet.
But Umti's presence actually made...
Oh, nicely done from CoreJJ with a dredge line there to stop the impact of the crash down. That was exactly what Team Liquid's bottom lane needed to do. Core was ready. He knew that there would be the angle. He dredge lines to stop it. The entire time, Umti's just snacking on Dragon. That's what they wanted.
The red button made as well.
And look at the CS now from between junglers, right? Volley gets way ahead off of all this. He already made the early gank happen. eXyu spent so much time down here looking for this play while he's doing Dragon, while he's farming more camps, while he's stealing away his red buff.
Oh, no.
So eXyu's going to get the bad news. Down a level, down a Dragon, down a couple ganks. That feels horrible for eXyu. This is just really well handled there by TL's bot lane. They had a good lane ward, they got the info, and then you have to feel like Core is just sitting there with his finger on Q and his mouse by the bush, waiting for him to come out.
Yeah, Umti's presence alone made eXyu come down here to help his bot lane crash the wave to avoid a game. And Umti's like, yeah, I know it's gonna happen, so I'm gonna go do the Dragon. I think really well played by Umti this game. Last game he was really behind in the early game. This game he's been playing, I think, really well with the pressure that he has.
Full 1v1 in top side. Rich in Dominus mode. Impact dropping his own ulti here. One more auto attack's all he needs, but he can't quite find it. Yes, he does! Impact by an absolute sliver of health gets the 1v1 kill on Rich.
That is such a tilter for Rich, man. What a close fight. I thought Rich was actually going to win it. When he flashed back in, I assumed his Q was back up or something.
Right.
But he flashed back in just for the auto, and Impact just gets him. that feels terrible when you're playing these kind of matchups where you are supposed to be the stronger champion early. You end up losing out. We can watch it one more time. Impact was very low on mana, so I definitely respect Rich taking this. The ulti comes in pretty late from Impact, but then this trade here, down about 1% health, gets the empowered Q, then E flashes back out, or rather E's out, then flashes back in to try to look for that final auto.
I feel like if he had flashed in earlier, he would have killed him before the pot started ticking by Impact.
Yeah.
He waited a second, he was hesitant.
Oh, the frustration on his face, man. He knows how rough this is going to be now. You're talking about being the stronger champion early, going down to the Jax in the 1v1. This guy becomes a monster with a lead.
Yeah, when you're losing both the Renekton matchup and the AShe Varus versus Senna matchups, you're kind of feeling the pressure started here a little bit. You're also down one game already.
Uh-oh.
You're getting outscaled late in the game, and now Volibear on top of the tower.
Ahri's coming as well.
Level
They're going to turn off the
6.
tower.
They're just ready to go. He's going to crash down right on top of Isles. That's your first target. And APA is ready to roam on over and guarantee Tomo's fate as well. Dub and eXyu trying to fight back. They'll at least get somebody as Umti dropped. It's a 2-for-1 trade favoring Team Liquid.
That is so worth a TL though. Like, they don't care about Umti's life. You know, I mean,
It's Volibear. Just throw him under the bus.
in-game, yeah, exactly. In-game, yeah. They know this Senna gets ahead. He's buying a Stormracer, by the way.
Yeah.
Or Stack Shift.
Okay.
But we'll see what he does with his goal here.
Ain't no way
Still,
static shifts.
I really hope you're trying to invoke your status as a caster to caster curse the static shift.
Static shift.
No! Oh no.
Why do
I mean, static shift is cheap. That is the one thing I will say. It is a very cheap item, and I feel like that's the one thing that gets lost a little bit in these conversations, because I'm not really a big static shift enthusiast, but people flame it. They're like, well, you should have bought this instead. Well, it is much cheaper than a lot of the other Noon Quiver items, and that's, I think, really why pros are buying it these days. But that being said, he bought an extra longsword on top, so he could have just bought something else.
It's a cheap, good stat item, for sure.
It's not just about the zap.
Against, you know, rell, Renekton, Sylas, you're going to be attacking on CD. Kraken will do twice the damage of a static shift in a team fight.
Yeah,
So I'm not a fan,
definitely does a lot more.
But at this point, I think it doesn't matter what he buys, to be honest. When you're this rich, you can just beat him with your wallet, no matter what is in your wallet.
Yeah, and when you play double marksman lanes, and really any of these kind of like lane abusive type lanes, whether it's brand support or Velka support or double marksman or whatever, like any of that stuff, and you fall behind, it feels horrible, because any one of these champions finds an engage on you, you're instantly dead. Ahri Charm, dead. Nautilus Hook, dead. Jax Counter-Strike, dead. It's just, it becomes so hard to actually play because you can't push the lane, you can't abuse them, and the Nautilus just walks forward, you just have to run away.
And anytime you even get in a big fight where you're in a stare down with your opponents over an objective or anything, it's a Jax and a Volibear, man. Like, even if you're grouped up with your team, how are they going to protect you from whatever all this is? Well, eXyu's got a Knight's Vow, so maybe he can strap that to one of them and make Volibear take one more auto attack to kill him. But it is rough right now for Dignitas in this early game. 4-1, favoring Team Liquid with a 1,500 gold lead. They already got Drake #1, and it's 30 seconds until Drake #2.
I also say Merc's value pretty insane this game on both sides, especially for TL. Like, Dig has so much CC that Mercs are going to be really high prio. We saw Umti, rushes the Mercs there. A lot of Volibears love those CDR boots.
All right, now hold on. The top lane battle has calmed for now, as Dignitas has their jungler bottom ready to stop another Team Liquid dive. They know that Umti just wants to go bottom again and again and again, continue to find the angles for the engages on these vulnerable marksman champions. eXyu will lead the charge forward so Tomo and Isles can clear out some of the vision. Back in mid, Dove finds the E2 connecting onto APA, just trying to trade aggressively on him, keep him away. Umti versus eXyu. Again, nobody willing to engage just yet. You want to find one of the squishier targets as eXyu finds the angle here for the Magnet Storm, but Umti's on top of Isles. They'll force him back with a Dawning Shadow over the top, and Tomo and Isles escape for now. Back up in the top lane, that 1v1 continues as CoreJJ's Dredge Line gets him away in bottom. Impact staying alive underneath the turret with just a little bit of mana, so he's not in much condition to continue fighting right now. Dove has stolen away the Ahri ultimate from APA. There's just stuff going on all over the map, man.
That's still a win TL though. Like, they win the sustain war here, so they definitely have a free dragon here.
Yeah, that's always one of the nicest things about Senna, honestly, is Impact. I think we're going to watch him kill Rich.
Yeah, Impact used the teleport back into the river, just flashes on top of him with the empowered auto attack and smacks him down.
Yeah, it's starting to feel a little doomy here.
Yeah,
for
a little
Dignitas.
rough.
This one is really tough.
When you're playing the early game champs in top side and bot side and you're losing... Hang on.
Okay, APA might be in some trouble. It's Ahri ult versus Ahri ult, and APA's Ahri ult gets away from Dove's Ahri ult.
Yeah, I mean, Dove is doing okay in mid lane. He does have that 1 kill, but he's down a lot of farm. So I don't know if any of them are actually ahead on gold. Let's check. Is there anyone that is up? Okay, he's actually ahead like 20 gold in mid lane, but top lane you're down quite a bit. Bot lane you're down quite a bit. Jungler you're down quite a bit. And you get outscaled. And it's like, when you're playing an early game champion, you lose to a champ like Jax or Fiora, which also have strong early games and are unbeatable late game. It feels so horrible because now you just know there's not really any recourse. Like, what are you supposed to do? You can't just be like, all right, farm it out, guys.
Shutdowns.
Yeah, like shutdowns.
Objective bounty.
You're coping, man.
All right. Dignitas going for the invade. CoreJJ is your target at the start, but they don't have enough burst to take him out just yet. eXyu under fire as he tries to walk away with the ignite still ticking on him. Tomo grabs the kill on Core, and Umti's about to drop here too. Another arrow in his back means Isles picks up the second kill. It's a 2-0 for Dignitas as they strike back and find a play in the Team Liquid jungle.
Teal fighting while Yeon was in base there is a little strange.
Head scratcher.
Yeah. It's one of those like, so why are we here, guys? The blue. ADC is in base buying his item, and we're just dying. Yeah,
gotta protect the blue.
APA also didn't even have his ult, right? So they had no Yeon, they had no Ahri ult. So definitely a tough fight for them to win. But good force from Dignitas, though. They get something back and give themselves a little bit of hope, at least.
Another reminder, next week's games, Friday and Saturday. Not Saturday and Sunday, Friday and Saturday. So don't miss Friday. Only 2 weeks left after this of playoffs, man. Going fast.
Finals weekend is going to be 2 weeks from now. Finals will be 2 weeks from now. That should be a lot of fun. I don't know if there's tickets available or not, but if you want them, better go check.
Go look. You can tell us. We don't know. Umti walking in, trying to steal away that blue buff.
Shouldn't you know these kind of things?
That's a question for Commissioner.
We don't need a ticket.
That's a question for Commissioner Mark.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you should know these kind of things.
Yeah, just, if you're concerned about tickets, send a DM to Commissioner Mark Zimmerman. I'm sure he'd love to just receive a bunch of
He likes to handle us on a case-by-case basis, you know?
I mean, we're on good terms, me and Mark.
Yeah. Mark will hook you up.
Mark, what is...
Let's see how good of terms they're on here on the top side. Dawning Shadow comes in as Umti has to disengage. Impact's still tanking up here on the front line. He survives. eXyu's locked up. He's beaten down. Impact goes on a killing spree, but drops right after. Dignitas will at least pick that up thanks to the piercing arrow from Tomo, but it's a fight favoring Team Liquid yet again.
Yep, and it's going to be the tower off the back of that. It's going to be the herald off the back of that as well. Isles stepping forward. Tomo's here, so Dignitas want to try to potentially contest.
Oh, they missed the dredge line from CoreJJ, but now Dove's ready to finish it off. He goes right back in. He finds Core. Dove's still at about half HP, but remember, Sylas can heal even more after that. Dashing forward, nice lock up there from the Charm as Isles gets rooted next, but APA doesn't have any mana left to fight with. The Ahri cannot do a thing. It's a shutdown over to Isles, and Dignitas down a man. Fight back.
Isles stepping up huge there, fighting the 3v4, just dodging the dredge line right in his face. But I think Dignitas should give him up this tower here. They know it's low HP. Umti is here.
Yeah, I guess they just thought they were going to get there in time to be able to reinforce, but the tower dies instantaneously, and Rich just kind of gets burst down. By the time Isles and eXyu are here, the fight feels like it's already kind of over. They do get impact, though, as Tomo was able to snipe him out, so that was a pretty big shutdown for the Varus.
No, he runs forward into the...
Smack.
Nice dodge from Isles here, really, and there's a lot of space making here as well, giving his carries, you know, space to go on and get aggressive as well.
Yeah, I feel like Dove's playing these fights out pretty well also. I mean, they're playing it kind of risky as Core's going to die again. But it's like when you're down, you have to play it somewhat risky. You have to play it aggressive.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to have confidence in your hands.
Nice,
and especially if you're going to play double marksman comps, it's like you can't just stand back and wait. You need to have confidence that you're going to be able to actually dodge abilities, constantly auto attack. Like, that's how this thing works.
And we were talking about how the early game was looking kind of doomed, but Dignitas has made it a pretty spicy one now. 17 minutes in with 14 kills on the board. They are not willing to just let Team Liquid build this lead. Isles and Tomo go over the wall with a blast cone. Thankfully for them, because Umti was right there. Rich and Impact now situated down in bottom, continuing just to farm up in that 1v1. It's going to favor Jax for the rest of the game unless something absolutely wild happens, as Yeon is pushed up pretty far here in mid. eXyu wants the angle on him. Crash down is not going to crash down where they want it. Dredge line back onto the jungler as CoreJJ is ready to set him up to lock him down. But the burst on eXyu, they kill him off. It's Umti taking the credit as Dove has to run. Rich right behind him, looking to block and protect. Tomo flashes back, but the Dawning Shadow flies out. Team Liquid, they got the one kill. It's the enemy jungler, and the Drake is about to spawn.
Good sidestep from Yeon. He pops the E, has the move speed, and he's just kind of juking back and forth, trying to make eXyu guess which way he's going to go. eXyu does guess, and guesses wrong, ends up dying, so it's going to be another dragon here for TL. That's 3 dragons, which is quietly a pretty big problem here, because they have late game advantage. Now they're going to be on soul point.
not the first time eXyu has engaged on mid and failed and cost him huge. They will have a big problem against FlyQuest as well on the Viego. He flashed forward and lost in the entire game basically against FlyQuest early in the season. And now here, even if he hits the engage, I don't think it's that good of an engage. There wasn't many people around to follow up immediately, so I think they could have just gone for the Herald instead, honestly, try to trade. I know it's the third dragon, but it's so hard to fight that position on these objectives.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a desperation engage. That has been one of the kind of thorns in the side of Dignitas, I would say. You know, I mean, eXyu, I think, has been really good when he's good, but he takes a lot of kind of risky plays and yeah. Pay off.
That's the rookie spirit for sure.
But I like seeing people do that, right? I think you have to learn from there, and yes, there are mistakes that are being made, but at the same time, you don't want a rookie to go on stage and just play scared the whole game and do nothing, because I do respect the fact that Dignitas, and honestly none of the teams have felt like this year were the do nothing and lose teams.
Yes.
Because we have seen teams like that in the past where they're the bottom type teams, and they just sit there, they slowly bleed out every game, they don't want to take any risky play, and it's just like waiting to lose.
Definitely rather, you know, learn by being too aggressive rather than learn by being too passive. That's definitely a good sign for eXyu's future. Maybe not for this game specifically, but we will learn from our mistakes. Yeah, I agree. I think for rookie, he's had an overall decent play. I think that's been a team that's done better than I thought they would.
Yep, for sure. But this is maybe a pivotal fight here as Dignitas trying to come in. Boy. Rich is just so squishy, man. It's so hard when you fall this far behind on Renekton and clips tabbies. Like, you get hit by one charm Q, you lost half your health.
Dignitas still looking from an angle. They fire off the arrow, they lock down CoreJJ, but Rich is already so low, he'll die first. A 1-for-1 trade at the beginning of the fight, as Umti and the rest of Team Liquid are ready to keep going. Dove tries to steal the volley ulti and get away, but it ain't gonna happen. APA with a nice charm back onto Tomo, they're looking to burst him down next. Team Liquid kills 4 and walks right back out. Baron spawned 10 seconds ago, and they might just have their eyes on it.
Feels like a desperation engage on CoreJJ there at the end, like, oh, we lost the Herald, now we have to do something, and they just arrow him, and it's not a good engage.
Yeah, really good buffer as well from Core. The arrow's coming out, he just turns with the dredge line, throws the hook out, so the CC means nothing.
Yeah, gets the upstruck as well, tanky enough to survive long enough.
Yeah, big deal there for TL, and they are looking really clean in this one. Game number 1, heavily Dignitas favored in the early game. Made a few mistakes, TL capitalized, were able to take that one, but this one is all TL all the time. Baron, 4.5k gold lead, we're just past 20 minutes. And this is just a really good reaction here from Core. Catches Rich with it as well, who Rich, as I said, is just paper on this Renekton. When you go these kind of Eclipse builds and you fall behind, you are so useless.
Yeah, he is very useless indeed. I gotta say, so far, the blue side blind pick Renekton has not been looking too hot.
No.
Last game was Impact, he wasn't doing anything either. And this game, it's Rich. I can't tell if he's tilted or if he's happy that they're winning.
Yes.
Yes.
Knowing Spawn, he's really happy that they're winning, but I'm sure, like, just he's the kind of guy he is. All he's gonna be thinking about is the things that they could be doing better. You know?
Oh, here comes the last play.
Let's see if Dignitas can find their angle here with the TP. Dove and Rich coming around, looking to complete the pincer collapse on Team Liquid, but TL just walks off to the right. They're totally fine.
Yeah, eXyu didn't have flash, I think.
No, it's still not up. There's a couple seconds left on it, just that little sliver.
That TV play kind of feels like Dignitas' last, you know, sort of engaged play. Yeah, now they might be choked in the 1-3-1 here by TL without the TP available on Dove. It's gonna be hard.
I mean, no one can get down to Impact. Like, who's supposed to answer him right now?
They will lose
TL
tower
are
somewhere.
playing in the bot side jungle, so you can't walk through your jungle to get there. So bot tier 2 is probably just dead. They're going to send both their bot laners down there to try to answer, but Dove is caught.
Dove, 1v3, not a good spot, man. He'll try to get away from the Dawning Shadow. The sidestep is good, but the follow-up from Team Liquid is better. They'll take the tier 2 turret, they'll take out the enemy mid laner, and they've got themselves a 13-8 lead, 6,500 gold, and soul point. They will have Baron all the way up through the spawning of the soul. Isles with a flash out to barely escape APA.
Yeah, TL can just keep playing 2 lanes here and then maintain control over the bot side jungle, and then they just get the soul in.
Oh, APA is going to look for Rich potentially.
1 charge left in his ulti?
Yeah, that was actually good from Rich. If the counter-strike lands, he's dead there, but they're going to look for an engage.
eXyu with a Magnet Storm. They've got CoreJJ locked up underneath the tier 3 turret. They'll take him low, but they can't kill him. Charm again, forcing out another flash. APA aiming these CC spells straight, forcing those summoners time after time.
APA is putting a lot of pressure on this game.
Yeah, also been farming very well, I would say. The early game he had 140 CS at around 30 minutes, which is very good. And the flashes are really important for Dignitas. That's their best engage gone now. The rell engage is kind of their only chance of winning, I think, getting a big engage onto the Senna and the Ahri. I think the arrows landing on, the cleanse Senna and Ahri with ulti is kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, it is really.
You gotta wonder how can Dignitas possibly win this fight now? Down 7k gold, they don't have position, they don't have any vision, they don't have any flashes on eXyu. How do they actually engage a fight here that will kill someone that matters? Going on CoreJJ does not work. We've seen that one before.
Impact's TPing bot lane. He's gonna come from the flank. And I think this could be Hammer meets Anvil.
Yeah, Dove is going to be the first target here. If they start the fight off just bursting him down, there's no way this goes well for Dig. Umti gets a killing spree, and Rich tries to take out Yeon, but the Renekton is nothing but extra gold now, man. Yeon's on a killing spree. This game is all over, but the Nexus exploding. 8,000 gold lead for TL. Infernal Soul for TL. 2 more kills for TL. eXyu can't do anything except take the blast cone and try to get away. He'll run back to Isles, but are these guys even safe?
No.
Core and APA are looking to find him. If you kill both these two here as well, the game might just end. A nice dredge line to lock down the Ashe. Isles pops, and eXyu barely walks out. Tomo and eXyu now up against the full brunt of Team Liquid's pushing power. It's a 5-man play in the bottom lane. Dove and Rich are about to respawn, but it'll still just be a 3v5. Team Liquid continuing their way forward towards the Nexus turrets. First one's about to melt. These things just do not last. Impact jumps in, counter-strike with a flash to guarantee the explosion of damage into Tomo. And TL's just waiting on one more minion wave now, I would think, and they'll be able to end this. 2 seconds on Isles, but the Ashe just doesn't pose much threat. eXyu also about to respawn here in 5 seconds or so. Isles chunked down to 40%. A kill on Rich. The Renekton has had such a rough game, 0-6-2, as they try to find the damage on APA, but it's just not there. Dignitas are too far behind. Team Liquid, 21-8, 11,000 gold ahead. Only 25 minutes on the clock. They'll move to match point.
They gotta be feeling so confident after that one as well. That one was absolute domination. They get a solo kill on top side where they're outscaling. They get the 2v2, play where they get that early chunk out level 1. Then Umti comes down, they get the kill, and it felt like both side lanes were over from there.
Yeah, I think Dignitas really gotta go back to the drawing board here. We can't be playing early game champs every game and losing early game.
Is it just the Smolder angle now, you think?
Well, I was really surprised they didn't go Smolder in game 2 because they've been very vocal about how they think Tomo is the best Smolder in the league. Like, that's our champ, that's our style. So when it was up in game 2, I thought for sure it was going to be the Snap Smolder locked in.
I agree.
But to be fair, they did win game 1 early game really hard, right? So it's not like they've gotten slammed in the early game both games, but it's tough now. You got to reverse sweep. No more mistakes.
They're making too many mistakes in the early mid game.
Yeah.
First game was their mid game. This game was the early game. I think just go back to what worked for you in the past. Play the Jinx, play the Smolder, go for the easy win conditions. That's how you won most of your games. And also, if you're in blue side again, don't play Renekton, please. Like, I don't want to see it again. It's so useless. Just blind pick something else. I don't know.
All right, well, speaking of Renekton, it's time to